Rocket here, coming to another video review. And today, as you can see, I'm taking a look at Voyager Class Onslaught from Combiner Wars. So to start things off, here's his size compared to a soda can. Not very tall, but he is certainly a long boy. As far as colors, they're an interesting grab bag. This sort of dark muted teal, light gray, a dark metallic brown, silver, a little bit of purple, a very tiny amount of dark metallic black, and a little bit of a drab olive sort of poking out in other spots. I'll talk about this later. He has a bunch of wheels, so he rolls fairly nicely. And if you haven't noticed already, he is a rather hefty remold of Hotspot. I mean, he shares a few pieces here and there with Hotspot, but the overall design of him is different. As far as accessories go, he comes with Hotspot's guns, which unfortunately just don't look right with Onslaught, because these are water cannons. That said, you can just plug these into these ports on either side with those posts. You can also plug them in up here if you want, but they really don't fit, and that's not where they're supposed to go. They're sort of set up to go here, to sort of recreate Onslaught's G1 vehicle mode. Kinda works. So let's go ahead and get to the transformation. Now, because he only has the one combined mode, I'm going to show that off in the final video, and I'm just going to show off the transformation to robot mode in this video. So let's go ahead and get started. Start things off, take these guns off of there. You can leave them on for the transformation, but I'm taking them off just to make things a little easier to see. So to start off, take these wings on the side, bring them up to about there. Split the back portion of the vehicle, which takes quite a lot of force. And these tabs interlock, as well as two tabs up here, and some tabs that lock into his crotch. Then get the leg out, and then this portion of the leg sits on a tab on the thigh. Just try and get it around that. And then extend the leg. And you want to get this, I guess, triple joint set up right, so that this notched joint here will go into a bunch of grooves on this piece. Locks in there, turn it around, bring down the heel, fold down the toe, and there you go. Again, same thing. Get it over this tab, bring it down, get the triple jointed crazy knee in place. Go ahead and lock that in. Turn it around. Flip down the toe. Flip down the heel. The leg's in place. And there you go. Now before I move on, I want to talk about this section. Now on Hotspot, it's not that big of a deal, because it locks in up here, and then these tabs here lock into the armature for the fire ladder and the combined mode head. But Onslaught doesn't have that. He just has this post and this port up here. And the reason that this is an issue is, if you can't tell, there's already a stress mark just from the few times I've played with this guy. And this post on Hotspot has already snapped off. Now with him, it's not an issue. Like I said, he secures down here. Onslaught doesn't. So when this post breaks, and it will break, there is now going to be nothing securing the front of the vehicle in place, which really sucks. I'll just go ahead and split that, and bring all this down, rotate the arms forward, bring it down the rest of the way, out, rotate down, and if you look here, you can see that the entire port is just covered in stress marks and even a couple cracks. And so either this is going to split or the post is going to break, and then he's not going to hold together very securely in vehicle mode, which is going to suck. That being said, take the arms and they tab in up here. Just untab them, bring them down, fold this panel down against the shoulder, untab, bring it down, fold that down, bring down the chest panel, flip up the head, and then these tabs, just like before, lock in there, and there you have Onslaught in robot mode. Here's his size compared to a soda can. Pretty much what you expect out of a Voyager class figure. Colors are mostly the same as vehicle mode. That muted teal, purple, silver, light gray, that metallic dark black, that dark brown, as well as the addition of some reds, blues, and yellows. View from above and below. His posability is okay. His head can move up and down a little bit with the transformation joint here. The head itself is on a ball joint, but due to the way his head is shaped, he can't really look up too far. You can get a pretty good amount of rotation out of it. Actually, you can get all the way around. You can also move side to side just a little bit. Arms can move all the way out at a joint up here on the shoulder. And if you need to, you can also use this joint to move them up even farther. Although, to move them up this high, you have to move this out of the way. With that there, you can move it about that far. The arms are on a ratcheted shoulder. They could go all the way around, but the backpack gets in the way. You have a double jointed elbow with a joint here that goes about 90 degrees, and a softly ratcheted joint here that goes a little over 90 degrees for a total of a full bend, as well as a pivot in between the two joints. Nothing at the waist. Legs can go forward that far. Back about as far as they need to. They can go out to the side pretty much all the way. Swivel just below the hip, although it's very tight. And you get a fairly decent bend on the leg. The toe can't really do anything. So the posability is okay, but it's not great. He's actually somehow less posable than Brawl. Well, at least from the waist down. From the waist up, he's much more posable because Brawl has weird posability. Again, as for accessories, it's the same, just the two water cannons. He can equip those. You can just plug them into his hand, like Hotspot, which looks okay, but where they're really supposed to go, and where they look best, when you plug them onto his backpack, because those ports from vehicle mode are still accessible. So just take these posts, plug them into these ports, and there you have him with his armed backpack, and he looks much better. The only downside is, like Brawl, he now doesn't have a weapon. So kind of got to pick whether you want him to look better or whether you want him to have a weapon. Personally, I like him to look better. That pretty much does it for my review of Onslaught, so until next time, bye-bye.